Hey, it's Chris here today from Huckabones Equipment, and you can obviously see it behind me. What we're going to be talking about is the KX080-5 from Kubota. It's a brand new unit, completely redesigned. So today's video is going to be a top to bottom overview of it. So we're going to start at the front here and talk about that Kubota rock breaker on the front. So starting up front on these excavators, again, there's a multitude of attachments you can put on them, whether it be buckets or, as in this case, the breaker. So this is the Kubota breaker. We've sold a number of them here. It is a popular breaker, a very expensive breaker. I'm not going into great detail about what sets the breakers from Kubota apart from other companies, but just know that they're great and they do what they're supposed to do, and that's be very hard on the person who's operating and very hard on the machine, but they do break rocks, break concrete, and do what they're supposed to do for a long, long time. What we like to do here at Huckabones is oversize our ditching buckets, undersize our digging buckets. So what I mean by that is, you know, a standard bucket on this is going to be like a 30-inch digging bucket, but that doesn't mean you can't go bigger. You can go up to 36 and 42 on the digging, and down, you know, right down to I think it's a 14-inch or 16-inch. So we like to undersize it just so it gives you more force whenever you're digging. And then whenever you oversize your ditching bucket, it works great in tandem because now you can still move material quickly without losing any of that prying force. So again, you can go up to about a 60-inch ditching bucket and a little bit wider than that aftermarket if need be. So it is neat seeing like a small little trenching bucket on here being, you know, like that 14-inch, let's say, and then it's 14 inch wide and like 3 feet deep. So it's pretty awkward looking bucket, but it does what it's supposed to do, digging trenches with this big powerful unit. This is just the manual quick coupler on there from H&H. Pretty standard. Most people at this size of excavator like to go with hydraulic. It is an expensive option, but obviously you're going to be switching out from a multitude of buckets and breakers and stuff. It's kind of easy to do from the cab with hydraulic stuff. Big thumb on the back. You get up to this size excavator, you're going to want it. It's going to be on every single one you see out there. It is the most popular thing we can put on an excavator is a thumb. Some of the other things you're going to want to know is some of the statistics about how deep you can dig and how much breakaway force it has. So most people want to know like your max digging radius, you know, so that's kind of like your straight out reach is 24 feet. Your max digging depth is 15 feet straight down with this unit. For some odd reason, they always want us to talk about this, and I have no idea why, is your digging height, and that's 23 feet straight up kind of idea. I don't know who operates up there, but that's they always want us to mention that. So some of your lift capacities, it all varies how close you are into the blade and how far. If you're over the blade or over the tracks, you're at minimum going to be down around 1.6 ton over the side straight out, up to a maximum of 7.2 ton over the blade and close. So, and there's a multitude of different variations in there. Just check with the brochure about what forces you kind of want to see or need to see there, but pretty straightforward on all that stuff. Okay, so whenever you start thinking about what you're going to get for a KX080 is you have a few choices to make. Number one is your blade. You either can go with a straight blade or an angle blade. Most people do like, whenever they're spending this kind of money, is to go with an angle blade. It gives you more selection about what you can do out in the field to get the job done. But saying that is you're going to also be selecting your tracks. What you select on tracks will affect what you have for a blade. Because you have regular rubber, which is what you see here on this unit. After that you have steel and then wide steel. If you go with the wide steel, you can't go with an angle blade. It just angles too much and gets into your track area, so it's not retailed that way. What we see here most often is a rubber track with an angle blade. This isn't a huge excavator in the scheme of things. It is big for Kubota, but not huge out there in the world of construction. So people do like to be able to do multiple jobs with one big unit. So that angle blade lets you do that. So where you're going to see your steel tracks come in is, generally speaking, in our area, and it is a very general conversation to have, is whenever they're going out in the bush, basically. You know, like going in the back 40, and that's where it's spending its life. It's not going to be on pavement or anything like that to tear anything up. It's going to be on your rough terrain there. So that's kind of a quick conversation about that. Now let's skip over to talking about that brand new cab. So now we're sitting in the brand new cab for this KX080. And let me tell you, it is fantastic. Say that, it is fantastic. There will be a few drawbacks and we will bring them up as we go along, but it is a great updated cab. You got the LED lights, you know, we got them on, they're nice and bright. You can see it's way anything this expensive should be. There should be lots of light, able to see. As well as that is you got mirrors. You got a bunch of them. There's some on the side, some up here, you know, rear view. It's great. You can see all around you. It's you know, visually, it's a fantastic cab. You're able to roll up this door just like our SVLs. And they've really improved the rattle on that. It was one of the small drawbacks of the old one. They really worked hard to really incorporate some things to really make that solid, even whenever it's not completely latched in here and all the way up, that you're not going to deal with any rattles that way, because it did develop in the bushings end of stuff. So you're able to open the windows, you're able to see out, you're able to see around you, it's nice and bright. One of the complaints we always had whenever we got up against, especially Caterpillar, was our cabs were very small. They've worked hard to make them bigger, more comfortable for the North American market. You can read into that whatever you like. So bigger cabs for North America. So, but the operation of it, it stayed the same. You know, they've made some bigger pedals here for bigger feet, bigger seat, more comfortable seat with the air ride. And to also touch on it too is this screen here. We're going to go into a little bit of detail about how you can scroll through everything. Pretty awesome, lots of detail there. Also very small. That is one of the major drawbacks I have for this type of machine. If you ever sit in the equivalent Caterpillar, their screen is roughly twice the size, if not 3 times the size of ours, giving the person the same detail. After that, something this new and coming from what we just seen in our SVL 75 lineup, being touchscreen, is this is still a toggle. Does it really matter? No, your operation is pretty good. What I prefer is both. That's my personal opinion, is it should be both. It should be a big screen there, able to touch screen, as well as if you need to toggle to go through screens and stuff. So it was a missed chance by Kubota to really just take that next step. Yes, they've got the comfort level up, operation is fantastic, but to really take that tech and drive it home, because you are going to spend a lot of hours in this machine and you're going to do it very comfortably. Like it has a great heater, they've improved the air conditioning. It's just a great unit. One other thing they've done as well is keyless start. So again, you put in your code and away you go. No more key to lose other than what's in it to start. So pretty slick and simple, great idea. Yeah, it's a great cab. Again, the toggle, it follows the same as what you're going to see in the 57 U48 kind of idea. Whenever you bring it up, you can select, go through whatever you want, whether various settings kind of idea. And again, like I said, it's your back button, menu, and then toggle to go up and down and set whatever you need to be. There is 1,001 different settings in here and what all you want to see. It's slick and simple. There's no point in going through it all, but it kind of gives you an idea. And see, like I'm trying to tap here. There is no touch. It's just natural now that that's what you want to do in one of these machines. Again, you got your log record, periodic checks, lots of information there. What I will show you as well is a huge drawback, in my opinion, is the backup camera. That is the best Kubota could do. It is as clear as what a phone was in 2005. It is awful. And it's not to drive it home, it's not the be-all to end-all, but if that's the best you can do in this machine, that's kind of sad that way. So one other thing we are just playing with here is in the brochure, they really like to preach how they have a cell phone holder. So we've got a couple cell phones here, pretty standard size here. It fits no problem. Look at that. Not an issue. And the wobble, it's going to stay in there all day. We've got a little bit of an oversized one. They're getting more and more popular. Will it fit? And the answer is not a chance. So again, it would be nice if some more thought was put into some of these things while they were redesigning it. But anyway, let's now go to the operation of the unit. So we're going to skip around to the back now, talk about the engine, a few other key features you're going to want to know about. So number one is how many horsepower do I have? You got 66 back there. It is a Kubota diesel engine, of course. Depending on the setup of this unit, you know, whether it's angle blades, steel tracks, you're going to be between 18,000 and 19,000 pounds. A little bit of a difference there, but just depending on the setup. After that, most people want to know is if they're getting anything like that breaker out front or any sort of attachment is gallons per minute. You're roughly 26. Your max output's going to be a little bit less there. In around that 23 to 24 is what the max gallons per minute you're going to get out of this excavator. Some of the other key features you're going to know about is your 2-pump load sensing hydraulic system. Basically what that's going to tell you is the overall smoothness of the operation of the front attachments is really going to improve. It's going to let you effortlessly perform your 2 operations at once, so basically turn and reach or whatever. It's going to make life easy while you're doing it. And you'll notice the difference right away over a Dash 4 to a Dash 5 on that system. You know, you have your auto shift system, enables automatic travel shift from the high to low depending on the traction and the ground you're on. So what that all boils down to, you know, if you're turning and everything, it's going to be kind of auto shifting one track to the other, making it easy to turn so you're not tearing up the ground as much. The last one to kind of mention it was the automatic activation of the 3rd hydraulic return line. Very lots of wording there. What that basically means is no more climbing in and out of the cab whenever you're manually looking to open and close that third hydraulic line, it's all electronic from your toggle system now. So it just makes life easy. Again, and that's what they're thinking of whenever they're making these small improvements. It just makes a nicer machine overall. All right, so that brings the end of today's video. I hope you learned a lot about the new KX080. There were some massive improvements in that cab, also some improvements on how it operates to make life easy on the operator, whether it be that toggle system to bring you some more information than what was available to you before. Lots of information on the display screen. Again, there is a few small drawbacks in that cab, in that redesign, more personal, what I would have liked to see, but at the end of the day, it's always nice to see improvements. And so now you'll be able to take that information to your local dealership and have a nice conversation with your product specialist to see if the KX080 is a new unit for you. So if you enjoyed today's video, please like and subscribe. If you have any comments, please leave them down below. Thank you.